let's just jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really profound story, one that forces us to rethink everything we've been taught about success, wealth, and empathy. I mean, we're going to completely challenge what it actually means to be rich.
And we're starting with this incredibly powerful quote right here. The moment we stop feeling another person's pain, humanity begins to disappear. Think about that for a second. Every single day, millions of us walk past people who are hungry, homeless, or just completely helpless. And a lot of times, we don't even look them in the eye. So the big question for us today is how our capacity to care actually shapes our world. Spoiler alert, it matters way more than our bank accounts ever could. So, let's set the scene. Our story kicks off on the exact same morning, in the exact same city, with two baby boys born just miles apart. Now look at the difference here. On one side, you have a boy born in a super luxurious private hospital, right? He's showered with expensive gifts, his future basically guaranteed. But on the other side, a boy born in a tiny, crowded public hospital to parents who had barely enough cash left over to pay the bill. No grand celebration for them, just love, hope, and a whole lot of faith.
Naturally, as these two grew up, those paths just kept getting further apart. The wealthy boy lived in this massive mansion, luxury cars, literally every toy you could imagine. He was living in a bubble, totally shielded from any of life's hardships. Meanwhile, the poorer boy, he's living in a tiny house with cracked walls. Whenever the rainy season hit, his family would be scrambling around just trying to keep their few belongings dry. His parents were actually quietly skipping their own meals just to make sure he had enough to eat.
But what's really amazing is how his mother handled those dark, rainy nights. She gave him this incredible emotional anchor. She'd smile at him and say, "Never be ashamed of being poor. Be ashamed only if you stop dreaming." I mean, wow, that one simple sentence, it gave him this unshakable light that guided him through some seriously difficult days. Then they hit school age, and man, school was just a stark daily reminder of how unequal things were. You've got the rich boy pulling up in a luxury car, flashing brand new books, basically admired just for having money. And the poor boy, he's walking miles in shoes that literally have holes in them, carrying these worn-out secondhand books. People laughed, of course. But instead of getting angry, he made a quiet promise to himself. He decided his future success was going to speak way louder than their teasing ever could. Things got even more intense when tragedy struck. The poor boy's father became seriously ill, and just like that, their tiny income was wiped out overnight. But he didn't give up. Actually, scratch that, he doubled down. This young kid took on grueling physical labor, carrying bricks and cleaning shops all day. And at night, because they didn't even have electricity, he studied outside under a streetlight. He was physically exhausted for sure, but mentally, totally unbreakable. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, the rich boy is just coasting through life. He's bouncing between parties, shopping malls, going on these crazy expensive vacations. Because he was so protected from any real loss or hard work, he never actually learned to appreciate a single thing he had. It was all just handed to him. And that brings us to this really critical mindset. He honestly believes success just belonged to him, simply because he was born wealthy. It's a tragic arrogance, honestly. It shows how some people can have absolutely everything, yet they choose to give absolutely nothing. They just fundamentally miss the true value of character. But hey, we all know life has a way of throwing curveballs, right? Fast forward a few years, and life completely flips the script on both of these young men. A total reversal of fortune in ways neither of them could have ever seen coming. Let's look at the poor boy first. All that endless, exhausting determination under the streetlight, it finally pays off. He crushes it academically, earns a full scholarship, graduates with top honors, and goes on to build this incredibly successful career. Every single milestone he hit was a direct result of those late nights and the massive sacrifices his parents made. Now, at the exact same time, disaster strikes the wealthy family. We're talking catastrophic, terrible investments that completely destroy their entire business empire. Poof, gone. Within months, the mansion has to be sold, the luxury cars get repossessed, and guess what? All those fair-weather friends who used to hang around him all the time, they just vanished into thin air. So suddenly, the young man who had literally never worried about a single thing in his life is struggling to find even a basic job. For the very first time, he is feeling real fear, real disappointment, real uncertainty. He's finally waking up to the harsh realities of the world he used to just confidently drive past in his sports car.
Which brings us to this dramatic turning point. It's a rainy afternoon. The former rich boy is desperate for work, right? So he walks into this modern office building for a job interview, having absolutely no idea who is sitting on the other side of the desk.
He walks into the manager's office, and he just freezes. Sitting right there in the big chair is the exact same boy he used to ignore at school, the kid with the secondhand books and the torn shoes. The former rich boy just lowers his head. He's totally bracing himself to be humiliated. But get this, look at what happens instead. The now successful businessman stands up, smiles this huge, warm smile, and hugs him like an old friend. He says, "Life doesn't test us to destroy us. It tests us to teach us. We all deserve a second chance. No revenge, no rubbing it in, just profound, incredible grace." It perfectly captures how much courage it actually takes to truly care for another person.
And those words, they changed everything. The former rich boy grabs onto this lifeline and works harder than he ever has in his entire life. He shows up early, he learns with actual humility, and he starts rebuilding not just a career, but his character. He finally figures out that success you earn through hard work is infinitely more valuable than success just handed to you on a silver platter.
Jump forward a few years and you see both of them standing side by side at a charity event, raising money to educate kids from struggling families. They both realize how much they've changed. One of them had to escape the prison of poverty through pure determination, and the other, he had to escape the prison of arrogance through humility.
Which really drives home this massive realization. Look, money can disappear overnight. Houses get lost. Businesses fail all the time. But these four things on the screen right here, knowledge, discipline, kindness, and integrity, they stay with you forever. They are the true treasures that absolutely no one can ever steal from you.
So if you take away only one thing from this explainer, let it be this. Humanity is not measured by your money, your power, or your success. It is measured by your kindness, your compassion, and your courage to care. Honestly, the world really doesn't need more wealthy people. It desperately needs more human hearts.
We seriously need to rethink what it means to be rich. The richest person out there isn't the one with the biggest bank account. It's the one who never stops learning, never stops working, never stops helping others, and never ever loses hope. We have to recognize that a single meal, a helping hand, or even just a few kind words can bring literal miracles to someone who has lost everything.
Every single sunrise is an opportunity. It's a fresh chance to look into the eyes of the people around us and actively choose to change a life. And remember, your current circumstances do not define your future. And hey, if you're wealthy today, never let it make you proud, because life can change in the blink of an eye. We have to deliberately make these choices every single day. We need to choose kindness over judgment, love over hate, and compassion over indifference. Because while cruelty only ever creates fear, humanity creates miracles. And you know, people have very little, yet still find a way to help. They understand this on a deeply profound level. So always remember to respect everyone you meet. You literally never know what unseen battles they're fighting right now or what greatness they might achieve tomorrow. At the end of the day, your character will always be worth more than your money. Your kindness is going to outlast your wealth. I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder as you step back out into the real world today. Will you choose humanity? Will you be the reason someone smiles today? The choice is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I will catch you next time.